do believe in repenting? What if the kingdom of heaven's within you? Do you think you would enter, huh? What do you know, huh? How do you know truth from the pit of your soul, or just cause somebody told you? Do you think about what you think about? Do you see yourself in the people that you hang around? Keep quiet, let me think aloud. Listen up, wanna break it down and question your perceptions. I'ma break it down and question your perceptions. Do you ever question your perceptions? Do you ever question it? Oh yeah. What if your money was worthless? Then would you know what your worth is and reconsider living with a purpose? How would you determine what work is? Are you seeking what's easy to purchase, or is it deeper than what's on the surface? Do you question your perceptions? Ever so is real, huh? It ain't your politicians, nor your status. All of that is fiction, so it's real, huh? It ain't your entertainment, nor the industry. I heard it's filled with fake shit. And I need truth over everything. Yeah. I need truth above all else. Just I need truth over everything. Yeah, give me the truth, give me the truth, give me the truth, yeah.
Like I've said in many other previous podcasts with friends, family, and otherwise, how would you say, like, if somebody was like, who is Nini? What would you say?
Strange.
Yeah.
Very strange. Someone that people wants to get to know too. Very interesting. Nini is a question mark. I'm always a question mark. That's why I have tattooed. I have my ear question mark. As soon as I walk in the room, people just, wow, who is this person? Automatically off the gate. All my life. And I'm 43 years old, believe it or not. But it's a lot. Soon as it's always been a question mark. There's no hesitation. Everybody just so curious what about this girl, what she knows, or just the vibe itself, just the aura that presents itself. So it's a lot.
All right. So to that, I would say I can relate to a lot of that. Mm-hmm. And in our personal interactions, you were the one that came to me like, I kind of fuck with you. Like I rock with I was rocking the pendant. I fucking not wearing my pendant today. But you're like, I rock with the pendant. And you were just like, you rocked with my vibe. And that was like, all right, she's cool because she kind of sees beyond a short little white kid, know? And you saw like something real about me.
Yeah, it's your aura and your vibe. I go by auras and vibe. When you start breaking down, they say like Libras, the signs and the astrology of that.
You're a Libra, and this is the balancing act. So this is perfect. As I felt coming in, even driving in here, I was like, I feel I'm going to fuck with this. This is going to be a dope ass podcast. I could just feel it in my veins.
Well, you mess around with Libra. This is a different type of Libra. And I'm one of different. I do like balance. I do have OCD. I do have a lot of characteristics of it. And I'm always real. I can't be nothing else. I can't be fake. So if you can't rock with that, then you don't need to be in my circle, period. So it's like little certain things I can pinpoint out of people.
No, the fact that I'm sorry to interrupt, but the way you said that is how I can't be like, it's not, I can't do like, I've had opportunities to try to do it and it's not me.
Try to do what, be fake?
Yeah, for money or whatever other reason, know. That's the reason people sacrifice their real selves is they think that they can get something out of it.
That's true. I mean, for me to be the mind type of terrier that I put myself on a different type of level and different type of pedestal that I set myself for myself. And then with me being back in the days and have to grow into the person I am. And once you start realizing who the person that you is, you don't give a fuck after a while. You know what I mean? So it's a straight point. Either you gonna rock with me or not. I'm not here to sugarcoat nothing. I'm not here for you to be my friend. I'm gonna tell you this. You stink today, you stink. Like, go wash up. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it real. Don't come around me like that. Because my sense of smell, my sense of aura is just gonna be on the roof. And if I know not to mess with you, then I won't mess with you. But I'd be like, strictly, I give you cordial and give you I call it Hollywood talk. Hollywood is, hey, keep it busy and keep it moving.
Right.
I don't really have to rock with you, but I do know that you're there. Right. I want to respect your boundary, but respect mine. So if I don't want to rock with you, then that's how it is. I'm here for one thing only, and that's to get in. If you want to get in, then I'm gonna teach you some things. You know what I mean? It's, some people are just closed-minded all the way around. I'm open-minded. I see things before it probably happen. I probably didn't even know before it happened. It's in me. Something that I always have a gift of. So it usually be cool. I don't like it. I mean, I'm not the type of person to like a lot of attention. So attention comes to me. So I have to diverge it and not let it take my aura, suck me down.
Right.
And that's a lot of things to do. Family does it too. Friends does it. Take all your soul and your forgiveness and
that's the second agreement. Don't take anything personally.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take anything personally, then that energy can't get you.
Can't get me at all. So once you block it off the gate, and you already know, because people think that since you don't like it, that you're gonna keep on doing it.
Right.
You don't have to. You can stop it. It doesn't matter who you is. If it's not meant to be, then don't fuck with it.
Right.
Simple as that. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta push yourself to the limit. So.
The concept that I'm thinking about while you're explaining that is like happiness. You know, like a lot of people, they look for somebody else to make them happy or for something outside of them to make them happy. But with the lifestyle that you're talking about is I make myself happy and then I share that with those who
needs it,
who rocks with it. Yeah, exactly.
Who gets it? Because some people get the seriousness of me,
and who reciprocate it too, though.
Right,
it's a give and take.
It's a give and take at the same time frame. I mean, you can take it or receive it. You know, my motto is: you listen today, and learn tomorrow.
Right.
I say learn tomorrow because within the blink of an eye, shit can happen. You know what I mean? Within the blink. You listen today, I might tell you like, hey, you might need to pull your pants up because when you have to run from an animal or get chased by the cops or just figure of speech or any type of thing, you might need to know how to run. So you can't run with your pants sagging. Just forget it. Then one day it might happen to you like, damn, I should have pulled my pants up. You know what I mean? Just a matter of speak, a metaphor for this be existing. So that's how I usually look at things. Straight ahead, hey, I'm here to do one thing and that's it. I'm not here to please nobody. I please myself.
Right.
I can do just about anything that a man or woman can do or a man can do in the industry. It's just a figure. That's the way you carry yourself. You always gonna have depression. You always gonna, down yourself, degrade yourself. It's life. You gotta keep on pushing yourself. I've been back and forth with it, trying to be agreeable to try to please, or it could be a family member or someone that you love close. You know what I mean?
Right.
It is what it is. Life goes on. Right. Regardless.
It's a balancing act to everything, to every relationship, to everything, even within yourself.
Yeah, within yourself. I can sit here and preach to the choir about a lot of things, but once I go and look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, you said all this. What you gonna do? You did that 100. You can speak and you can say like, hey, do this and that first. You know what I mean? Sending you to everything. But when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, damn, but you did say this, so you gotta push yourself to the limit because people are watching regardless. I'd rather to give you something to watch.
I like how you put that.
So if you're going to watch and keep on, then I'm going to give you something to articulate to it or to be whatever, And
I think another aspect of what you're talking about is just the willingness to challenge what you believe and how you see the world and just like remaining real and raw within yourself.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you got to figure like, our parents has a lot to do with our lifestyle too that we do. And, we have to push that boundary. Something that your parents didn't do, you got to do it. And I think I said outside the box. You got to push yourself because they live their life. Now you got to live your life. You got to find it. Right. And it's hard. I'm going to tell you.
Sometimes there's moments where it's hard and then there's moments where it feels easy. When you're in flow, when you're in
the flow. Yeah. Well, you just, if you don't give a fuck.
Riding the wave.
If you don't give a fuck what motherfuckers feel. Yeah. People out here want to say, oh, you got to criticize the shit that you do. I mean, you got to be respectful to it. I can care less if you do. Don't you be respectful to yourself and to others at the same damn time. So that's my whole point about respect and boundary. You can do whatever you want to, but just have respect and boundary. It doesn't always be a liking in the situation. Some people ain't going to like this or like that. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But when you start coming over and putting that negativity in that, then I have a problem with that. So then it's like boundaries set in stone. So yeah.
Did you go to church as a child?
Oh, hell no.
No.
I went to church one time. One time I had one skirt. And I think it was me and my cousins, Oakland church. I think that's the only time I've been to church one time. I think at that time frame, I think I beat somebody up with a bat or something from an old lady or something. It was blasting back. I was a kid. I was a rebel.
Right.
At the same time frame now. We didn't go to church, but she put me in a setting of people's surroundings in that area. You know what I mean? So we wasn't heavy on
what
that.
area?
What, the area as a child, or how old I was, or
yeah, I mean, where did you grow up, and like what shaped your beliefs as a child, if it wasn't church?
That's a good question. As a child, I think it was just being open-minded. It wasn't ever forced, I guess. My mom was a hardworking young lady, you know what I mean, spending food on the table, doing the hustle and the bustle that she always do in life. So it wasn't really like, well, you need to go to church, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think my grandma and my mom already know we all special in our own type of way, but it's just like a special connection that it was. So it was just being open-minded and understand this is what church people do, but you don't have to go. You know what I mean? You can do this. So it's just always open door. If you want to believe this and believe that, then the case will be. So basically, I'm not Baptist, I'm not Christian, just open-minded. I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm aware of my belief. Yes, there is God. There's a lot of things that's out there.
Yes, I was going to ask, were you atheist as a kid then?
No.
So you always had a sense of...
I have a sense.
Of God or whatever you want to call it. Do you have a preferred name? Do you prefer a different name to God, or do you just call it God?
It's him. It can be a she. It's whatever I call him. It's him. It's upstairs. You know what I mean? I heard the man above, lady above.
I like love.
Above. I just like love as an equal. Isn't somebody out there watching?
No, I'm saying like literally like the name of God. Like I like the word love as a better. I think it's a more accurate name to get at like what it is. No matter what, you're just using letters and symbols and sound.
I mean, I call him G because, you know what I mean? He see the good in people, and also, you know, see the great in people. We see the godable in people. I mean, G for a lot of things. The name go across the board. If you go to the alphabet, it means something. So, I mean, he's up there. I mean, he's greatness. You know what I mean? He showed the pathway. He's still trying to show the balance of equal opportunities out there and love, like you said, at the same time, which you need to go across the board. But, you know, as people won't think otherwise. But I think it's out there. I think that's his name, but his name is G to me. I'll be like, even when I pray, you know, I'm not a simple prayer. I'd be like, Lord, you see this shit. You know what I mean? All the time. Like, what you want me to do? You know what I mean? So you gotta be open to it. So
how would you say your beliefs have developed from the time you were a child, regardless of what shaped it as a child?
As a child to now? It changed a lot. Because there's a lot of...
I think that's normal for most open-minded people. It's going to change a lot because your life experiences change. So then that changes how you see things.
It changed a lot. I mean, I'm still respectful. I mean, however people want to push things on another individual, I mean, that's them. You know what I mean? At the same time frame, that's their distinguish about it. We ain't getting an X-ray?
Yeah.
It changed a lot. I mean, I say a lot of things, you know, I just like it. It's entertainment.
Life itself?
Is it?
Yeah. I think that's actually some of the realest wisdom right there is like, I think like when people talk about purpose, life's purpose, I feel like our purpose is to enjoy and be thankful for life.
It's a joy.
The best way to show thanks is to enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, it's to enjoy it and to sport.
100%.
That's basically it. You gotta take chances and stuff.
Explorers by nature.
They is, but sometimes they can be scared too. At the same time, because they're so get caught up.
But I don't think fear is natural. Fear is something that it is natural in a sense, but it's not something we have to agree to. And I think people agree to it out of deception, and that's why I think it's important to talk about beliefs and stuff. Because like when you really get at truth, you want to talk about truth. Lies require you to believe in them in order to have life.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if you don't believe in a lie, it stops affecting you. If you don't believe in the truth, it will still fucking affect you because it's the truth. You see what I'm saying?
It's like equal.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to believe. Like, the truth is our beliefs are powerful too. So that starts to bring the yin yang into it, you know. But at a like more, you know, baseline level, like, truth is going to be truth even if you don't believe in it. And that's kind of how I discern between truth and lies is like, if I don't believe, if I take my belief out of everything, the truth is still there.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like the lies, require your belief. And that proves that your belief is powerful too. Like our belief is kind of connected to our creative power, which comes from our creator. And this is how I see the world, you know? I'm not saying that's exactly but those are the symbols that I use to try to like explain that to somebody else that might see it differently.
Oh, that's good. So I'm going to distinguish a little bit differently. So you said like truth and fair. Truth and fair to me goes hand in hand. It's the yin and the yang, because the truth is going to be out there, but you're going to be fair to try the truth, or fair to go and try to see if it is the truth. So it goes both ways, like you said, the yin and yang. Fear appears a lot in people because we was taught not to do them things or not to try them things. You know what I mean? Just some people are a bit in their head.
All right. No, you're getting at something real, because there's rational fear, which is like, there's a fucking dog running after me barking and about to bite my face off. That's rational fear. Turn and run right now, or you're going to suffer real consequences. That's real fear. And that's something that our biology is programmed with. And we need that. We need that fear to survive. But then there's the fear of, I'm not good enough. There's all the psychological fear that to me, that fear is what certain energy vampires feed off of.
Yeah. And that's what the fear is, that people don't want to take that chance. And that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It might be like, don't go there because I had a bad experience. Then some people would take that bad experience and not try it. I'm going to say off the gate, a cruise ship. Regardless of what Mother Nature does out here, people are scared to go on a cruise ship. Why? Because they see all the negativity that the news put out, or what people bad experiences. You might not experience a better thing, but you can be cautious of the awareness of surroundings of different days and days that you go on cruise, or different time of the hours, or, you know what I mean, certain types of year. Like the good year or the best year, they say they're going to cruise is maybe like in the wintertime. Also in the wintertime too, the storm, hurricanes, tornadoes out there happen. You can't really predict Mother Nature. So if I sit here and say, oh, my bad experience, people run off of that. People are sitting here like, oh shit, she said she that bad. I'm like, never go on a cruise ship. Then when you see on TV, you see cruise ships shaping, then, you know, they stranded and the toilets is not working. So people fear not trying to take that leap of faith and say, let me try this and see if I have that bad experience. See, I'm a doer. I like to try it. I like to think outside the box. I'm going to try your gangster or your scenario situation, see if it works for me. A lot of people can't do that. People will just sit in that fear of nature and not trying and doing it. And that's what the society is happening.
What they're comfortable with.
And I tell people, my motto is never get comfortable. Across the board.
I don't like the word never or always, but
you got to. So when you put that in your basics, I think of the opposite. When I say never get comfortable, so you come to work, you show up every day and do your diligence. I'm gonna give you 100.
But I can give you the yin yang to that too. Yeah. Is what I tell myself when it comes to comfort is like, find comfort in the uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable regardless of your surroundings.
The same exact thing. You know, just everything is not going to be to your comfortability, so you have to make it, right?
You can't control other people, but you can control your reaction.
Your reaction to your environment. So let's say it's everything that you do when you go to work is repetitive. The same thing that you do constantly over and over again, right? Regardless of who's next to you or your surroundings, but you can make it comfortable so you can make it at ease. And if you don't like a situation, then you address the situation. So people hide about that, you know, that situation, and don't want to take cover or take full responsibility. Like, I might have messed up in that part and fucked up in that part. People want to take accountability for it. And that's the problem. It's the same time frame. So when you have that type of scenario, it's like, what do you do in that? Some people fear that situation of the consequences of what's going to fucking happen. We're thinking right here too much at the same time frame. It might be something, like I said, people are scared to go on cruises. So you heard a hearsay, he say stuff, but you're not going to take the initiative to try it on your home. So that's what the problem is. You know what I mean? The same thing when you go to...
Right, and that's just an example of
an overall, or the same thing they might say, well, Nini's mean all the time. Nini does it, because I get that a lot. Nini's mean, but, you know, who y'all count on? You know what I mean? Who y'all count on to protect y'all ass at the same time frame? Like, I know how to be funny at my job too, and then how to take it seriously. But when it comes to like customer service and people taking advantage of people doing things, I can see right through it. So it goes like judgmental things. So it goes all the way across the board. You know, it's just about being focused and just keeping your eyes open. You know what I mean? So
staying aware
of it. I said stay woke. Shit changes the liberty within a second.
Yeah, and they've kind of made that word a whole different like meaning now too. Well, that word has got so many different connotations now.
It has different types of values and interesting. It intertwines to a lot of things, but it's also, you know what I mean? Like I said, stay woke.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, at the end of the day, it's real.
It's real.
It's real.
Very real, I hear.
So, was it the Damar Hamlin episode, the first episode you watched?
No, I watched, it was the first one that you sent me. Let me try to get the concept of it. It was about the world itself. I think you and the other gentleman was on there. Y'all talking about how it's Illuminati and...
Oh, James. Yeah.
It was that type of concept. And I said, okay, this is deep. I mean, that's another subject to come on hand about it, but it's just people having a open-minded conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And nobody's getting upset about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, you're just having a flow conversation.
Right.
It's just, to me, you know, people are so fucking sensitive.
Very, very.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what killed the most of it. You know what I mean? It's the sensitivity of that, the whole concept of that. But that was the first one that you saw me. I seen that one. You know, of course, we had our own conversation on the side. And I already told you how I felt about that. It's just, everything's out there in front of our faces now. It's been in our faces blindedly to certain eyes, certain ones that say that didn't stay woke.
Right. The symbols were always there. The signs were always there.
Always there.
It was at one time 20 years ago. It was more camouflage.
Yeah, the same thing with the music. We had this conversation like not too long ago with the music. You know, like Rick James. The whole time he talking about cocaine or something, but it was this blindfolded the music. He was saying, you know what I mean? Give it to me, baby. He talking about a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like it was so coded.
Right.
So like a sub line that we didn't understand, like the scrolls go on across the TV screen real quick and you can't see the shit. It was just like that. But now it's just out there and I'd be like, God damn, like it's right here. It's been here.
Yeah.
It's been here.
Yeah, no doubt. Do you think are you on Twitter?
I was. And what do you mean? The T now, wherever the cousin?
Yeah, X, yeah.
I can't get jiggy with my old ass. I didn't understand the concept. I did try to do one time to sell my feet on there and some shit. But trying to make anything big ass.
Yeah, I mean, was it?
I didn't even get far. I had to have my friend West to help me, and she didn't get me through the whole process. West and shit. I ain't know what to do. I ain't raced it. When I get these new phones, it's a wrap. I ain't even think about it more. I still got the feet pics. I'm still trying to work that magic out. But no. Hell to the no. No, they ain't on that.
So there is like a faction within like the truther community or conspiracy community, whatever you want to call it, that like, in my perception, in my perspective, I feel like they take the like all of it's fake a little too far. Cause like, yeah, it is all fake, right? To a certain extent, but then like there is, for an example, right? Like they would say that the whole vaccine shit is like, it's just saline and it's just to scare us and it's a whole psychological operation. I say, look at the insane increase in autoimmune diseases, autism, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you might not want to face the dark fact that vaccines are behind a lot of our like diseased state, but that's a fact that like, don't get me wrong, it's still a yin yang to it. Like we can acknowledge that truth and like work our best to bring light to it and to like change that, you know?
Yep.
But there is such a thing as spiritual bypassing. Have you ever heard that?
No, what is that?
It's like when you don't want to face the darkness. So you just tell yourself that it's not real.
Would that be considered fair?
What you mean?
Fear.
Yeah, fear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a good way to put it. That's the first time I heard it saying like that nature, but okay.
Yeah, because like, don't get me wrong, I do think there is a lot of deception too, especially now with deep fakes and like a lot of the stuff you see through screens is just scripted. You know what I'm saying? Or just totally CGI / deep fakes. You know, mm-hmm. There is a lot of that. So mm-hmm. like that's kind of like what makes these spiritual bypassers. That's what makes their argument kind of legitimate. You know, because there is a lot of that deception as well. You know, on the screens. You know what I'm saying? But then there is real life shit that people experience that like, if you just face it, like there's some fucked up shit behind it. You know what I mean?
It's always a fucked up shit about everything. Behind everything.
But I feel like that, you know, even though there's truth to a lot of this quote unquote dark conspiracy stuff, mm-hmm. a lot of times that's the yin yang that can like allow people to realize, well, I still control my reaction and I still have my connection to God. Mm-hmm. So there's like both the truth behind that darkness and the truth behind that light too, mm-hmm. you know? And that's just like the balancing act.
There you go.
Right.
Like I said, it's a yin yang of it. It's still.
I mean, even like medicine, you know, like real medicine, in my opinion, is right here, or like mushrooms, or even like the more quote unquote powerful ones like peyote and
RSOs.
Or any of the quote unquote plant medicines, like real shit that's not synthesized. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, or, so synthesized is really the best word, I guess, but.
So do you think that it's going to be legalized everywhere for the marijuana?
Eventually, but like, is that even a good thing, man? Because the more like legal, you know what I'm saying? Like weed, like organic, genuine flower, like grown in the ground with like sunshine mm-hmm. as its source. Like, I feel like that's what they want to get rid of. They want they want it all to be indoor.
You talking about the fake ass sun that we got now, or are we talking about the sunshine, like this light we talk about? What we talking about?
So you think that the sun is fake?
Well, that's another subject.
It's another subject.
Yeah, I mean, hell yeah, that sun is fake. I'm gonna say that on here on record. The sun is fake.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, we're going to come back. It feels real. Yeah. It does.
It makes me sneeze, which feels good to me. Releasing some pressure.
The sun?
Yeah.
The sun makes you sneeze.
Natural light. Yeah, natural light versus like, you know, a fluorescent light or LED light. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on it. It allows us to do this at, you know, at nighttime. Like there's good things about it, but it's not as good for your health as like sitting in the sunshine.
It's never good for your health. The sun ain't real.
The sun ain't real.
The sun ain't real. That's another conversation about that. But
I'm open-minded, but
open-minded.
But all right, so I want to hear what is it then?
It's a big ass magnifying glass shining somewhere. Direct. Like you just sitting here at this object and reflecting on something else. Pretty much. I can't read this. It's like putting you in a room and a whole full like mirror.
I got some out there beliefs, but damn.
And mirrors and just I think the
sun is one of the realest things there is.
I think the moon is.
The moon and the sun, yeah. No,
I think the moon, but not the sun.
Why?
Because did you know beforehand that we had another moon before this moon that we have now? And do you know that there's another moon out there somewhere that they might, you know?
How do we know this?
Listen. Just know the fact.
I'm skeptical.
I watch a lot of geographics on TV and just how we go back and say we've been lied to a lot of.
That's why I'm open-minded to anything because of the amount of deception out there. That's the facts. But to me, when I step in the sunshine, it makes me feel better than when I'm inside or when it's dark outside. I mean, but even dark outside, I feel like fresh air is better than the air conditioning that we breathe.
Yeah, because there's a lot of trees on here, so that's good to give us oxygen in the same time frame. But that'd be the only thing.
So trees are real, but the sun's not real.
Correct.
I'm sorry. Nah, I fucks with the sun.
Well, first of all, when you riding with me, you don't need to say sorry because I'm just have your mind going a total 360. Just like the world is not round.
So I might be with you on that one though.
The sun is not real.
But okay. At what level do we call real then? Because like, yes, I think that
the level that we can call real is yourself.
That's real. That's real. So okay, so no, but to me, the way
look, see you thinking. Look, see, yeah, I got your mind.
I'm trying to paint a picture. I'm trying to paint a picture and share it with you. So the way I see it, let me word it like that, is okay. The sun is fake. Okay, whatever. I think we're in a video game, kind of.
Right now. Or just
it's very real though. Like that's where the yin yang comes in because it's like our experience in this quote unquote video game is real. I'm good on that.
So you're right. We are in a video game. Because what do we see? Monsters.
But it's real. See, to me, video games are trying to show us what reality is. It's doing its best to simulate this that's reality, which might be a simulation for something else, but it is for us a real life experience.
It is. And you
that's the yin yang.
On the right down now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We are in a video game, but that's real. It's a real experience for us, at least in this manifestation.
All right, yeah.
So the sun, I feel like the sun is the same sort of thing. Like it's real to us, but it's still part of the video game from a bigger picture standpoint.
Okay, I can rock with that.
Okay,
that's good. Good analogy.
Yeah.
It's still fake.
Everything is fake if you want to take it to that level. But certain things in this simulation are realer than others.
Correct.
And I do think it's a discernment test for us to figure out what is really affecting our actual experience in this simulation, but it's real to us. You see what I'm saying? That's where the yin meets the yang.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
This one still take a process. Still take time, but are we going to get to that point that we're going to understand if it's real or not real?
I think it's important to continue being skeptical and to continue searching for truth and to continue being real until that point at which we either die or go beyond this simulation.
I like that. Very nice.
Hell yeah, this is dope. Hell yeah. So what do you think about, so this is where another discernment comes in.
Okay.
When it comes to medicine. So if it's all fake, sure, then the weed is fake and peyote is fake and mushrooms are fake.
It can't be.
And Adderall is fake. But to me, you have to have discernment. And I feel like meth and heroin and cocaine is fake. It's real, but it has a very fake vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Versus cannabis and mushrooms and I mean, even LSD is one that's synthesized, but it has a very genuine feel to it, in my opinion. And that's the only synthetic one.
When you break it down for that, let's be honest. How many people die of smoking weed?
Right. Facts.
How many people?
Right. 100%.
So what we have now...
Anything that you cannot overdose on feels kind of real to me.
Mm-hmm. You really can't overdose on weed, to be honest with you.
The LSD might take you to the loony bin, but you're not going to die on it.
That's it. You're going to be definitely in the loony bin. You're going to have definitely so many fucking side effects on top of that.
I advocate for microdosing.
Once they start dipping and dabbling and stuff like that, you got to figure, let's go back. The medicine that we're dealing with is not coming from just only from like fentanyl.
Another fake one.
You know what I mean?
it's real in a sense, but
once they start doing all the chemicals,
we have to have that discernment.
So once they start adding more chemicals and stuff to it, then it comes to another.
I'm a fan of opium. I'm a fan of opium.
It's another type of level.
I'm not a fan of heroin or.
That's what I'm saying. So it's another type of level to that.
Synthetic opiates.
But you gotta realize too, they taking from like the medication, like the Ozempic and the other things, the medication for like cholesterol and heart failures and stuff like that. They are taking animals. So you mean some of that stuff coming from snakes, the venom.
Right.
Takes from another type of level. That's the lab trying to fix somebody and trying to cure somebody, trying to help somebody at the same time. The same thing when we're dealing with like cancer and other types of methods too as well. But let's be honest. Let's say you had the Rick Simpson oil, he's the type of guy that had cancer and stuff like that, and found medicine for him to pay for that.
A whole plant extract versus just extracting the buds. Because it has all the other cannabinoids that don't necessarily intoxicate you, but
we have them for the pain.
Right.
So within that pain, it always comes with side effects.
But the pain can be mental or physical or even spiritual, at a certain level.
So when it comes to weed, it's come from pain, from spiritual. You know what I mean? Like
from something that has roots in the ground.
Thank you. And something that's more curable.
But see, that's where
and
it's
more
like, that's
relaxing.
Where I want to.
At the same
I don't want to necessarily like be a dickhead to the people that are like everything's fake, or it's that you're saying like the sun's fake. But in that case, the earth is fake. But okay, maybe it's fake in the sense that this whole realm is a simulation. But there are things within this realm that are real in the sense that they're rooted. There's a real vibe to certain things, an organic vibe to certain things like cannabis, mushrooms, peyote. Versus a very like dull, numb, like fake vibe that comes from opiates, synthetic opiates, and
motherfucking side effects
and type shit.
Side effects.
And
side
like
effects.
You said, Ozempic, but then also what's the sleep one?
Melatonin.
Ambien
and melatonin.
That's a weird like. Chemically, like I've heard like Pharmacopoeia Hamilton. He's like this kind of drug guy. He's talked about like Ambien is it's its own class of drugs. It's so weird, and it just fucks with people,
Something interesting. It's not interesting.
Yeah, but anyways, I guess like what the whole point of what I'm saying is like there is within this simulated realm there is a certain realness to certain things, like in my opinion, the sun, plants, the earth, and then a fakeness to certain things, like anything that we see through the screen, computers themselves,
people and everything else that comes around it.
Right. But even with computers, and like we're using one right now, so that's I guess kind of a hypocritical thing to say. I mean, it can be used. To spread a certain
good and bad
organic vibe message.
You got to read between the lines and stuff like that.
Balancing act, everything.
Every motherfucking thing. Yep. I mean, like I said, when people look at certain type of things, they're looking for like being real. Not real, but being true to your word, as I would say. You know what I mean? If I say I can be a bitch sometimes and lovable. I call myself sweet and sour. Because I can go that route sometimes. I want to be that continuously across the board. And when, as an individual, that's who I bring to the table. You know what I mean? Respectfully. You know what I mean? It's either like,
trust me, I get it.
You can rock with it or not rock with it, or respectfully, you can be like, damn, she loves me.
I've also taken it too far to where I've been like, I don't regret what I said, but I regret how I said it. There's been many times in my life where I kept it real, but I was a dick about it. And I felt bad about how I said it, how I delivered the message, in spite of it being a message that kind of needed to be delivered or that was real and had a good intention, but, wasn't delivered.
See, I beg different. That's when I tell you, when you listen today and learn tomorrow. We have to realize the shit that comes into your mouth is the way how you feel. It can be genuine. At the same time frame, you have to tell somebody how it is off your chest. In the receiver receptacle, that's how you learn a person. So you be like, God damn, nobody never put it that type of way to me. but I understand it, and then respectfully, I had to see that. You can't always like sugarcoat certain things to certain people. Like, for instance,
but you can
if you have two scenarios, like
drunk, you can be too drunk.
Yeah, not too, but at the same time frame, see, drunk and high at the same time, or you was drunk. This one.
I was off the 151. I was drunk. And they were they were like on a psychedelic level.
I can put it into my perspective.
It was just a miscommunication, you know? Like, I was keeping it real, but I was a dick about it. And I felt bad about how I delivered it.
You deliver it.
And it's happened a couple other times, but there's one certain instance that I definitely remember.
I used to be like that.
Yeah.
But not no more.
Ooh.
So
yeah, I hope I've learned from my mistakes.
When you get to that type of level like you have to speak your mind about it. You know, some things, the situation needs to be heard. And it can be felt some type of way. Like, you can be in type of anger or how you feel. I'm respectfully. Like, I won't take it the wrong way because you need to get it out. Because some things is not, you know.
But not everybody sees things like that.
Right. But like I said, I understand that. But when you come to different types of scenario situations.
I mean, I agree with you.
But
everybody's going to feel that.
That's understandable. And I understand that. But that's what the problem is trying to understand somebody. You know what I mean? Regardless if I can sit here and yell and that it's not, I have to get that anger out. I have to get that frustration out. And it's nothing always have to go towards that person.
Right.
It's just getting it out.
Right.
And people need to understand that sometimes. Right. You know, some things is not always directed towards you. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a situation. So, like, you both you supervise and manager the same way as I am. So if you come in like, listen, guys, you need to get our stuff together. You know what I mean? Y'all making too many mistakes. People are complaining. Boom, boom, boom. That goes across the board to all your staff. Get it together. Now, if you have an interest in a person individually that keeps on making the same mistake, then that's when the one-on-one comes in. Like, listen, you made this mistake on this day, on Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday. You want to keep all that in line. Like, you need to get yourself together. What is it that I can help you with?
Right. And you got to approach it from that perspective.
And a lot of people,
I'm not trying to talk down to you.
Right.
But we got to get this. How can I make it so that we get this shit right? Because it's got to get right.
Right. So there's a different deliverance. Right. And that, like, deliver, like you said, in that type of aspect.
Delivery matters.
Right. So you have that type of that anger towards, like, you need to get your shit together. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's different. Like,
you want to be like, are you fucking retarded? You know what I mean? But like,
and you should be able to do that to the friend that you know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, say if you got your friend a job. Right. Like, listen, they down my back. You know, I'm a boss too at the same time, but I got to listen to somebody higher up. They got to tell me what to do. Yeah. Regardless of our relationship, you fucking up. You fucking up. You understand that?
100%.
You fucking up.
Right.
Like, I can't keep on cover for you.
Right.
What you going to do about it?
Right.
And it shouldn't be like, oh, man, you my friend looking up. No, it should be like, respectfully, you have a job, I have a job. I got to answer to somebody the same way you got to answer to me at the same time frame. I'm trying to tell you.
I dream of a world where none of us have a job either, but as of right now, we got to deal with the situation.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people need to take their stuff out of the shoes and be like, oh, respectfully, but they want to get all attitude because that's you, because you keep on getting comfortable.
Right.
Now I'm going to go back to that, comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You kept on getting comfortable as me taking like that ride.
Right.
But as that ride stops to end, I have to answer to somebody else. I tried to, but now I got to put my foot down. And there's no hurt feelings to this because I'm going to still have a job, but are you? And at the end of the day, you have to put that line between love and hate, or the case gonna be, this is my job. At the same time, this is your job.
Right.
When you clock in,
I still love you on a personal level, but this is what we're dealing with.
When you clock in,
we're dealing with reality here.
You clock in, you're not part of cosmetology. I'm gonna just make a name up. That's your name in your business. The case may be, you clocking in for cosmetology. That means that job, when you sign that paper, it says you have to be here on time. You have to do X, Y, and Z.
Right. I'm already lax about it.
That's your job description. You understand that?
Right.
So when you don't bring stuff to the table and it start getting wicked and crazy, that's when I need to come in and check you.
Right.
But it's the way how people deliver certain things. But it's about your deliverance. You know what I mean? So I tell people all the time frame. Everybody's, like I said, if people take the time to learn, you can be selfish in your own little ways, but learn. learn something. Quit being closed-minded about things. Learn something. Learn something from an individual.
Unwilling to change yourself.
There you go.
Yeah, I think we have to be just like flexible to mature at every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But anyways, this has been a fucking epic talk. So we kind of already talked about like the nature of reality. So I guess to go like a level further, like how do you feel would be the best way for an economy to operate? So in terms of exchanging services, products, etc., in such a way where everybody can benefit rather than the top of the pyramid, so to speak, without it being a socialist communist. Because when you make it too, you know what I'm saying, when it's all central planning, that doesn't work either. We've experimented with that. We've proven that doesn't work. So how do you do it in such a way where everybody can truly enrich their lives? Because we've proven that there are ways to enrich your lives. Because in certain countries, even though America is still super corrupt, we're still better off than a lot of other countries. A lot of Europe is better than a lot of other countries economically. Now, is that the result of colonialism? Or is it the result of the way they exchange services and goods? Or is it some sort of, in my opinion, mix of the two? Yes, they've extorted resources from certain areas in the world. There's definitely certain multinational corporate powers at play, but I think countries is actually a facade for the Olympics and shit like that. And that there really is no such thing as countries.
Okay.
It's all about business law, commercial law, and the way that people exchange goods and products. And we're all slaves. Birth certificate, birthday. You know about the birth certificate, right?
I know about everything.
So I mean that we're property unless you are part of a lineage, a bloodline where you don't have birth certificates. But anybody that's born in the hospital, pretty much most of the world at this point has a certificate, which is literally we go to the definition of certificate. It's a document expressing ownership of a product. We all have birth certificates, which means that we're all owned by the United States corporation for us in this country.
That's right.
In this corporation, which is called a country in a lot of cases, but it's just another business term. And that's why we have presidents, because presidents lord over companies, corporations. So, it does get deep. But how do you feel would be the way to exchange goods and services, in my opinion, stories, because I think that's what holds most value, is to learn from each other and to figure out a way to get out of this entangled web we've found ourselves in. And how do we take ownership of our lives, literally, on an economic level, and then also enrich the rest of the world, enrich the people? How does that happen?
It's never going to happen.
I disagree with that.
I think it's never going to happen because we are set in our ways. We are set in our ways that we've been...
We're comfortable.
We're comfortable.
To go back to the comfort.
We're comfortable and we're scared.
Yeah. But I don't think that's going to last. I really don't. I think it is changing.
No, I think it's going to last because people don't want to. People are set into their own I don't want to get involved no more. That's where we're at right now. And it comes a lot with the presidency and the country as a whole. Let's think about it.
The population as a whole.
The population as a whole.
To be accurate with your word, because when you say country, you're talking about the company.
Well,
itself.
I said the population, or am I saying human beings?
The being, yeah.
Human beings, the people.
Right.
Across the board. However way.
Power to the people.
however you want to word it or how to express it, it's always going to get misconstrued.
Yeah, no, because even when I said that in my own mind, power of the people was taken up by Maoist communist China and other communist Russia, and communism it has proven to not work. So how do we set up a system where everybody can thrive in an economic sense, where we're all fed and we're all happy in a sense?
I think what it is that we are built in this time and this age, and the more that it grows and grows and grows the population, the worse it's going to be, because we don't have nobody to school or understand or teach another person. People are getting lazy now how to teach something else to influence other people, and people don't have no time, because our time is well being on the internet and entertaining people, or word of mouth, or people how they feel, or to people want to prove something to somebody.
But I wouldn't do this if I didn't feel like people will eventually at some point get bored of that.
You will. I mean, anything that you do,
they're going to start looking for
anything that you do, was if it's this or that, people are always going to get bored, because the entertainment world is different than what we understand and what we grew up as. See, I'm Mad TV. You understand? That was funny to me.
I get it.
They think
TikTok.
No, they think like, I'm not knocking Zeus, that ghetto-ness, the fights on TV. That's what they thrive for. See, I thrive for unity and love and spreading and understand and community and teach one another, regardless of the case.
I think that's always gonna, no matter how disparate and disconnected things get, there's always, at some point, there reaches a level of disconnection and a level of isolation that people start looking for this type of interaction.
It does
this type of content, which is not
when you find that when you find that or find that person that's sitting here and be like, damn, she's genuine, she's real, she understands that. I mean, nobody's perfect. I'm not fucking perfect. No. It's about
but see, there's the yin yang to that too. I actually think we are perfect.
We are, but it's about learning from your mistakes and not making it again.
Well, it's also understanding perfection at a different level. Like people have an idea of perfection. Of course, if you think that your idea of perfection is perfect, it's never going to be perfect. But when you realize that everything is already perfect and you surrender to that, that's when you can start to affect change and kind of ride the wave, be in that flow state that we were talking about earlier.
I mean, and it's being open and being understanding people's feelings, and people have feelings too at the same time frame, but you have the figure of speech, the freedom of speech at the same time frame. Right. When you say like lower certain things, we're never going to come as a unit, because we're so judgmental and we're so used to proving somebody wrong or being judgmental or being into competition with somebody. It goes across the board. No matter what color wheat you are, 100%. And wheat is any individual of what nationality, what color, or race the case, and be across the board.
Right.
We gotta understand at the same time, on here on earth, we still equal as the same. We still gotta go work, we still gotta fight, and we still bleed red when we die. Understand that? And we close our eyes at the same time of concept. So when you say like little things about are we, could we, as here we are different than like Canada. They take a stand within themselves to fight as one unit, as population, to say, hey, I'm not gonna pay my rent. Hey, I'm not gonna pay this for months and years, because it's a struggle. It's a foundation. We can't even come together as one unit here, is to argue the fact and say, hey, we're struggling, we gotta fight. It takes time for me to have anybody to come knock on the door and say, hey, would you, can you, and could you at the same time frame? That's out the window. The times had changed a lot. So when you say like, well, certain things, it's always an option. Yes, it could be better. Can we do better? Could we do better? Can we? I mean, look at the presidency now.
But I'm asking, how can we?
How it's going to take people to come out their comfort zone to understand that you're not the only one. You understand? To understand that you still can have your opinion, but we can still agree on one thing that comes within one another at the same time for unity. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what you are dealing with or what I'm dealing with, but when it comes to some type of thing, we have to come across. That's like the same thing. You go to work. We both work, but you have a higher position than me. The same time frame, no matter how old you are or how young it is, but at the same time, you respect me and come with that. When you see somebody doing the work, they come to work every day, then it should be no if, and it shouldn't be given the person who come to work a problem should come the person who don't come to work a problem. Understand? That's the difference. If the person come on late every time frame, I feel like some companies or individually, that you praise them. Y'all don't give them the punishment as you would as a person that comes in every day and work on time. And they might come and work one day or forget one thing. It's a slap on the wrist of the time frame. It's different magnitudes and different types of percentage you're going on. So when you say that, hell to the no. We have a long way, but it's like as more people come in and more people are born and more people are then teach little things, because some things is not teach what we know now to them. People don't know how to cursive. We was learn how to cursive. How you going to put your name on a sign and down a line? What you going to print it?
No, it's going to be biometrics.
That's what I'm saying. So the method of survival techniques that we have and instilled in us is different from the ones that's here. And my one friend said, you can't untrain the untrainables. Do you understand that? So if you train something that's meditative and endurance, some people is not wanting to learn something new. And like I said before, you're on your own. You have to fall on your ass now, because I can't keep on doing this if we're not wanting to learn to understand that.
Yeah.
Regardless,
that's where I feel that real life.
So what I grasp from you, like this podcast thing, this is something I want to do. You know what I mean? So you're actually teaching me. So the people that I bring around me.
We all teach each other when we're at this level of open-minded.
That's what I'm saying.
It's got to be the listening part that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. So as a listen, learn today, listen today and learn tomorrow. I have so many quotes that I can say here and just bring across you on the phone. And so that's the type of attitude. You know what I mean? Want to push yourself to do better. You know what I'm saying? Because we all didn't come from silver spoons. We all didn't come from this and that. We know we all come from different bringings and households you do and stuff like that. So what that point is, I like to do the opposite. You know what I mean? If you come in the house home, my family house home was not that gravy and stuff like that. I had to do with narcissists and people, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. You want to do the opposite. See, I always want to be the opposite. You know what I mean?
It's the yin yang.
This is it. You know what I mean? You want to be the opposite. You want to be something within yourself, because this is your line. Now, this is you. Because once I close my eyes, it's about what I bring to the table. What I've heard of being living exists in this world or non-exists. And I'm existing in the world. Regardless of what you grasp from me, it's like, damn, that Nini was funny as hell. She's goofy, you know what I mean? But she's serious, but it's something I can count on. It's what I want to bring across the table. Because regardless of what the fuck you got to say about me, make sure it's real. You cannot say nothing negatively about anything I do unless you really, really piss me off. And that's a different level. But it's always be the ones that call, you know what I mean? Like, damn, hold on, I ain't talked to this girl or this woman in so long. Let me call and hit her up. That's the line I want to go across the board. I don't want to be like, damn, I don't fuck with her. You know what I mean? Something vibe. So when I bring something that's knowledge, I'm going to learn from you too. But also, it can be the yin and the yang. I got to learn
Always
something.
Is.
You got to feed me as well. I'm feeding you.
Right. Give and take to everything.
Yeah. If you receive it, I need to give. I need something to vibe from it, to learn from it, to receive it, regardless of the case of me, because I learn something new every day. I'd be like, damn, hold on.
If you're open to learning something, it comes to you. Like, if you want to learn something will present itself for you to learn.
But you also got to accept the fact that, everything is not going to be that easy too. So you got to put your foot out there and try it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
you got to actually take the action behind. Manifestation requires you doing something to manifest it as well. There's the action and there's the concept and the feeling and the visualization,
everything,
and the heart. But then there's also, once you've done all that and you've put the vibe out there, then you got to go out in the world and enact the things that you need to enact in order to manifest those things that you've put out there.
That's it.
It's both sides to it.
Hey, you put it very well. You was waiting for that moment. I like that. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Same across the board. And that's how I've been surviving these moments, whether it's hardships, case may be, I got to keep myself pushing. So that's why. So that's one thing about Nini that people realize and people coming back for more. Or if you're still going to call me for this day and the chit chat, you know what I mean? Like I said, I vibe from any type of I'm open-minded and listen to it at the same time frame. So yeah.
So, which gets me back to the point of, for me, it feels like the best way for everyone's lives to be enriched is to create a system that balances, which we was talking about, the desire to cooperate and the desire to compete.
Mm-hmm.
We have to set up a system where sports is that's why I love sports. It's a way to compete in a way where people have agreed that this is going to be the competition. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain set of agreements that every sport has, you know, the rules of the sport, quote unquote. But they're not necessarily rules to me. You know, it's more of an agreement between the two sides, you know? And then there's going to be some people that are just unsportsmanlike and fuck, you know, you gotta learn how to deal with them too. There has to be a certain set of justice, if you want to call it that, or just agreements at the end of the day between the people that, all right, if this person acts out of line, this is the punishment. You know? You don't even have to think of it as a punishment. This is the consequence. This is the corrective action, if you will, right?
There's always a consequence to things you do. Simple. That's any action type of thing. Reaction.
Yeah. If you can't always control the action, but you can always.
If you sit here and punch somebody, learn there's going to be consequences. Either they're going to press charges or it was just where the case may be. You know what I mean? It's always step one.
Action, reaction. Yep, that's it.
But when you come to an agreement that people are always going to have an opinion and people will always going to say how they feel, it's the reaction. You don't always have to react to it.
Yeah, and
it takes time. Yeah, you don't have to react to that.
Part of that is the point is it's your choice. You can choose to react or not. In not reacting,
and that's when I call it ignorance. That's the ignorance involved. See, when people are just instinctively reacting without even thinking that, you know, even that or like the certain things
they
that
don't
come
even realize they have the choice.
That's the choice. Even if somebody posts something, like I get that constantly, like what the youngest I have to deal with in school because everybody think I'm still young, but I'd be like, baby girl, what the case may be. You don't have to react. A lot of things now is reactions to shit. If somebody say X, Y, and Z, is it true? If you react to it, sometimes I say it's true. Because there's no need to react to it.
You've made it true.
You made it, like you made it react to it.
Now you're allowing a lie to influence you.
Yeah, and then you sit here and gotta sit here and try to prove to 1,000 people that it wasn't true. And they don't even know what gives a fucks about you. They just think it's entertainment. Because at the end of the day, if I sit here, if somebody come up to you and say, Nini's a bitch, you be like, well, in my opinion, she's a good worker. In my opinion, she get the shit done. So you must have did something, the case might be, or she putting you in check.
Right.
A lot of people don't like to be in check. And that's the problem.
Because they're unwilling to check themselves.
Right. And
anybody who's willing to check themselves is okay with other people.
That's right. And nobody usually check them. Because they get away with it. You understand that? They keep on getting away with the same shit and shit because nobody checked them. Now, put you in check. This way you put me in check. It's go both ways.
Right.
It's about understanding what you did wrong and kind of reacted to fix it so you won't do it again. It's about, you know what I mean?
Well, from somebody like me, and I assume you, I don't like to make assumptions, but I assume you feel the same way, is like, I'm so hard on myself. It's like, I'm putting I put myself in check to the degree and to the point at which somebody else keeping me in check is like almost funny to me because it's like, I already did that. Don't worry. You know what I mean?
All right. Thank you for putting it that way. But maybe
sometimes I haven't. You're right. Yeah. Sometimes I do need it. You're right.
You need it. I mean, it's like, okay, it's like self-awareness. You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, all right, I did that. But
at the same time, even when I need it, I'm cool with it because of the constitution of who I am.
Right. But if you try that nowadays to certain people, they're like, huh?
Right.
get an attitude. You know what I mean? Because you keep
take it personal.
Right. And you're allowed to take it personal because it's you.
Right.
You keep on doing that. And when people kind of react that,
but at the same time, they should have the awareness that they don't have to take it personally, but they don't do what they need to do to change their behavior, to change the outcomes.
Yeah, they want to.
Certain situations.
Some people do and some people don't. Like I said, it's about that awareness. It's about being open-minded, like you fucked up and fix it type of shit.
Right.
And, you know, some people are not going to keep on holding your hands type of situation, but some people have that give a fuck attitude, like, it is what it is. Well, if it is, there's consequences. You're going to lose your job and stuff like that and keep it moving. You know what I mean? So, I mean, like, the yin and the yang. Like I said, reminding about it. It's always there. But it's the way how you handle the situation and the way how you build character for yourself at the same time.
Do you think that the atheist/scientific materialists, the people that are not spiritual, that believe that everything is just, that consciousness is just molecules in the brain and it's got nothing, the world is not alive. You know what I mean? Like, I believe that the whole world is alive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that, first of all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you believe that the worldview, the perspective of everything is dead except for our brain, and this is all an hallucination and everything is just material and it's a happy accident that we even exist? Or do you believe that, and I'm not necessarily putting you exactly in this box, but more on this side of the cultural debate, of the side of there is a God, for lack of a better term, everything's alive, there is a purpose to our existence, consciousness is real and it's not just molecules in our brain flying around. Which perspective do you think is the majority in society today, in America, in this part of the company, the national corporation, or even globally?
I think they're confused. I think
you think most people don't even know how to digest what I just said. True. So how about this? Among the people who could digest what I just said.
I mean, they always going to digest what you said, but some people are not going to speak upon it. You understand? So it's a difference. That's a lot you just said at the same time frame. I mean,
from a very basic perspective,
I'm just saying,
spiritual world, or it's a atheistic happy accident.
And I'm here for it. I'm here for the show.
I know, I fucks with that.
I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, because it's everywhere right now, and I'm not trying to like speak for anyone. I'm just speaking openly. It's confusing. I think a lot of people are blindsided, and it just, people don't want to realize certain things are in a you know what I mean? It's just, could be open and closed minded. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just confusing to a lot of people right now. It's a lot. And a lot of people that digest, and they, like I said, you have the ones that sit here and listen to another person. And it's like people that sit here and be open-minded like how we is, and the people are closed-minded like, you know, in certain ways and how type of feel. I mean, we can go, it's like an open-ended conversation that can go last for long, but I think right now people are confused. People are confused and people are concerned about what is really going on and what's real, what's fake, who's to believe this and believe that, because it goes a lot about your upbringings, for one, holding secrets and values within people's families. You understand? Like, when I say it can go, like, you know what I mean, to all types of level, and that's me being open-minded. See what I'm saying? I went to a different level that some people won't even and touch on, you know what I mean? Because it's so many different levels to this shit, and there's so many different varieties to this shit, and people, like I said, are entitled to their opinions at the same time frame, but people are confused. People are confused, right, and people are fair. Put it this way.
How do we bring clarity to the confusion? What can we do as people that exist, as these existing beings?
I mean, be united, for one. Understand that
How do we do that?
That's, once again, that's confusion that people brings in the entirety of people, how people feel. You know what I mean? You have some people that are setting their minds of one thing and don't want to be changed about it because they just don't want to. You know what I mean? That's, people are afraid to open up that box. People just want to be shut down to be one thing only and be closed-minded on one thing only. You know what I mean? People don't want to sit here and try to understand or try to do anything. It just shuts down. And that's probably because of their upbringings or what they have believed in or what they see doing, or they just want to try because they've been failed in that system before. You understand? So when you try something, you're not always going to succeed in the first time. You got to keep on trying to do better, right? People don't have the patience. People don't have the time frame. People don't have the motivation. People don't have the foundation, the upbringings, the constant conversations wise, or just trying to have self-evaluation within themselves to try to push themselves through.
How do we break people out of that spell?
I mean, how you break out of it is talking. I can assume. Speaking up. I can assume shit.
That's what I'm doing. That's
you know what I mean? I can't assume
that's all I can do. At a certain point, it's all you can do.
Everybody can be happy like me. You know what I mean? Regardless of the case. I mean, I wake up every day, you know, like I tell people.
Enjoy life.
Not only that, but I deal with my pain too. I deal with pain. I deal with repression. I deal with a lot of things to self, but I push myself through because I want to still be living here, to be living, existing, not to be non-existing. I want you to know Nini Thomas. I want you to know me as an individual. If I impact your life, it's because that's my job here on earth. People don't know their job.
Does that come down to purpose?
I mean, and no, this come with your job on the earth, which you're here for. You know what I mean?
Between your job on the earth and your purpose.
So the purpose of your life is you to enjoy life, to explore as the optimist or anything in life. That's your job. The purpose is if you to understand yourself, that you're still here, that you might make an impact in somebody's life. To believe it or not, I get like.
But isn't that kind of one and the same? Because if you're enjoying life on a genuine level,
it's the same.
Isn't that gonna naturally affect other people?
I mean, it's going to affect people natural. Regardless. It's natural and given. You know what I mean? Depends how you bring it to the table. It's good and bad. That's that order that we just talked about. So it's good and bad at the same time frame. You know what I mean? You can impact somebody's life and not impact somebody's. Depends how you handle that situation and how you bring it to the table. It goes by the method how you carry yourself and how you deliver it at the same time frame. You know, you mean well, but you not mean well, or you mean well, some type of thing. You know, that situation like you deal with relief, like this might be people that's manipulation, or just want something that's cognitively, or just being a problem child at the same time frame. It's diverse how differently. You may have one person that you can count on clothes, one person you can handle difficult situations. One person that can answer the question that might be good in tinctures. One person might be good in the weed category, like the indica, sativa, and hybrid, to understand that method. The one person that can do every drug in a book that can tell you X, Y, and Z, you defer that. You know what I mean? It's just all types of nature that you can go through at the same time frame. What people need to realize that there is good and bad people. It's the way you treat it. If that person is bad and you keep on doing bad things to it and keep on feeding the fuel, that person will keep on being bad and not can be accountable for their reactions and don't understand the shit that they do to hurt people. They can be good in people, like you too good-hearted. You always get taken advantage of. People always taken from you. But what have you received? Nothing. You understand? So that goes the yin and the yang. See, that all goes from what I get from you, how I feed from you, the nature at the same time frame, right? So it goes hand in hand. So what people need to understand that you can still have your opinion. You can be Democrats or Republicans at the same time frame. You know what I'm saying? It goes to the nature. You can have that. But I'm not going to get angry because you said X, Y, and Z. That is your opinion.
Right.
I'm not going to lose.
That's how you see it.
Yeah, that's how you see it.
Yes,
that's your experience. Now, I understand that. But when you're talking to me across the board, it's about the respect level. Mm-hmm. If I come out my character, then you are allowed to come out your character because now you need to defend yourself because you feel some type of way. But when it all comes to communication, to understand about what I went through and you through, it's the difference. But it all can be the same thing too, but different types of scenarios because of the wheat color that we are bringing up as. You know what I mean? When you say it's coming as one, it's going to take time because people are so, we've been shot to be in the shell, but we also been shot to categorize and to say X, Y, and Z instead of trying to understand why you did this and why you did that.
They'd rather make an assumption than ask a question.
Make assumption like that.
It's easier to make an assumption.
There you go.
It takes courage to ask questions.
And then you realize when you do finally ask that question, it was like, damn, she was wrong the whole time from this is a cool ass individual. And why? Because they can't handle either the truth or just a simple fact they would just want to be in that type of person that lies all the time. You know what I mean? Just to make this stuff to feel comfortable or to make them think that I'm this big cahoot and not to fuck with you or not to ride with you because they feel some type of way. You know what I mean? But that's how it is. So when it comes to a night, no, because women taught here how to fight against each other, not to help each other. There's so many people gatekeeping that can help another person out at the same time. From you get that individual, it's like, how? And it makes it seem more worse and more struggle for me to get it than what you can get it. You understand? But you can help out, but you choose not to. You understand? Because you already got that free ride. I'm in there easy, Squidward. Then it's like, when I try to get in, you're going to make it hard for me. You know what I mean? Just because you know you can instead of just helping the situation out.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So given everything, because this I'm ready to wrap it up because this has already been epic, but I do have one last question.
Sure. Let's go.
You said you wanted to do this. So what would let's just say this goes viral. I don't think it will, but let's just pretend. Let's just imagine, try to manifest it. What is your message to humanity?
It's going to go viral. Simple at the top. Because when you know what you bring to the table and what you speak, regardless of the case might be, my message is that still be understanding to people, that people won't have the rights, they have the opinions to speak their mind frame, but you don't always have to react to it. Understand that people that hear that we have our own individual struggles at the same time frame, and that some of the things that we've been lied to, let's also teach yourself to be different than others instead of being living to society, what society wants you to bring. And that's the problem that we have. Regardless of what they say here and bring about the listening of LTV, the list goes long and them, that, and ours, or just white, blacks, Hispanics, and stuff like that, that we also...
Identity politics.
We all still bleed the same color at the end of the day.
Fact.
And it's like the same day. I don't have to agree with you. Long as you're respectful as your nature and my zone, that's all that matters in the time frame. I think at the same time frame, we need to slow down to understand that we all come from different identities, varieties.
Different lived experiences.
Yeah, so it's just like, understand that, you know what I mean? Just
ask the question, don't make the assumption.
Ask, speak, say something. Don't assume because she said something and he said something about it. Don't make that assumption on that person and figure out what the person is about, regardless the case might be. Because you might be missing out a lot of good opportunities or a good vibe with another person itself. I mean, I would say, this respectfully, this peace and love, but it is out there, but respectfully, peace and love.
It has to start inside and go outside, though. If you look for peace and love, then you're going to struggle against any disagreement with somebody else. Yeah. But when you have peace and love in yourself and you're willing to give that to people that you disagree with and still respect because you have peace and love within you, it becomes a different exchange of energy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
It's a vibe method. So, I mean, you can spread love regardless of the case might be, but
100%.
It's about how you receive and take it. Like,
it's the golden rule.
Treat
other people how you want to be treated.
I mean, that's basically it. I mean, we get so wrapped up in the nature, like it's crazy. And I see it all the time. I'll just be like, even when I flick through channels and stuff like that, like music is my inspiration, you know what I mean? Music is relaxing me. Person. Besides the crystals and that, you know what I mean? The stuff like that, it's like, people are going to be people. Simple.
Yep.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's just what you bring to the table and how you bring for yourself and you love yourself. And that's all that matters. You're allowed to express anything that you want to do, however you want to do. But when you come to somebody's territory, then that's a different method. And when you're trying to throw something at them and want to feed them and try to change your mind.
And trying to direct their artistic and life expression.
And
trying to manipulate.
And that's when I have a problem with, you know what I mean? You can't
force a certain
manipulation of you or anything, or to listen.
Yeah, you can encourage, respectfully encourage. You know, you can say you can even be real about, I want to persuade you to do this, but you can be real about it.
Yeah,
instead of being deceptive about it.
My goal is not persuade. I can help you to continue to what you want to do. But if you don't have the influence within yourself, how am I
persuade can go both ways. Because it's a persuade, and if you're trying to persuade somebody else in the sense that you're trying to tinker with their beliefs, but there's also a persuasion where it's like, I'm going to be myself and express myself in such a way that I hope I influence you or persuade you. Persuade might not be the best word, because I feel like persuade might connotate that there is a level of trying to manipulate.
When you say persuade, that's like manipulation. You know what I mean? That's like you want to acquire
the
leadership.
If you're doing it openly,
but you're going to be openly and say like, hey, this can be X, Y, and Z. But
I want you to see it my way, and I'm going to express this in such a way that I hope that you can see it my way.
Yeah.
But if you don't, I still respect that.
I still respect that, but this is the consequences behind it. You know what I mean? This is, if you do this, the consequences is X, Y, and Z, and that's. I mean, it's like, you taking a pill, like everybody needs to have like a side effects on the head, like side effects, temper, late all the time and stuff like that. If you can see that ahead of time, then you should know how to deal with it. You understand that? But some people don't have that caliber or that nature, but you have to learn from the nature. You have to learn from experience. Because when somebody burn you once or twice, you understand that. If you keep on going back, then you're okay with that. Right. You're okay with letting that person keep on doing that to you. You're okay with that. With so many types of levels. But if you're not okay with that, you need to speak up. Like, hey, listen, this is
set a boundary.
Set a boundary with yourself.
The unconditional love does not mean unconditional acceptance of abusive behavior.
Right. And that goes a long way. That starts from the foundation that you've been with or deal with the type of situation. And if you want to stay in that situation, that's different. Then if you're trying to change it, that's a whole nother different type of level. And I'm all about change. You know what I mean? I mean, we all, like I said,
well, it's the only constant. Change is the only constant. Talk about the yin yang.
Change. Change is always good.
You got to learn how to
Change is always bad too, but you need to how to navigate the situation.
I don't like always or never, like I said earlier, but change is always
good and bad.
Change is the one constant that I will agree to that.
Good and bad.
Change good and bad, but good and bad depends on somebody's
how you take it, how you take it and roll with the situation.
Because bad, I mean, I had my feet run over by a forklift in 2012, and because of the way that I see the world, I can look back on that and say maybe that was the best thing that ever happened to me. At the time, it was the worst thing that ever happened to me, but over time, you mature on how you perceive things, how you perceive life, and how you perceive everything. And like, the worst thing could really be the best thing that ever happened.
Best thing ever happened to you. And people need to understand that. We're not set here, you know, it's going to be challenges that's going to be put in front of you. It's going to be setbacks going to be in front of you because at that time frame wasn't time for you to receive it. And people need to understand that, you know, things works in so many type of way. It might be a history, it might be a scenery, it might be the same type of thing at the time frame. But you need to read in between the lines that we're trying to feed you in this process.
What is life trying to communicate to you? And life communicates through emotions and all different types of ways.
Emotions, health, vision, it can take in a lot of types of different levels, and people don't understand that because that's the beauty of it.
They're not tuned into that.
Right.
But they have the choice to be able to tune into it if they make certain adjustments in their agreements internally.
I think they tune into
how they perceive themselves.
How they perceive themselves. I think some things are tuned in. It's not tuned into. It's like a life and death situation. And that goes.
Sometimes it takes
that much. It takes so much. Yeah. And sometimes it takes somebody a traumatic event. I think we all probably been through that, or some type of nature, or some types of things. It's like a wake up call. You know what I mean? Like, damn, okay, we had to push through it. You had to do that because
even time, I do feel like time is an illusion. So like the only thing that really exists is this moment.
Yeah.
So like technically, my feet were run over by a forklift right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like we have like this space time. Like it's a dream. I feel like reality is a dream.
Yes. Hell, yeah.
It's just spread out.
Spread out in all types of different
We're experiencing our own psychic projections.
All the time. All the time. Especially when you smoke and be on different type of levels and shit like that. Yeah.
1,000%.
1,000%. You see things very, very openly and all types of different levels. So yes, I do agree on that. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. So to sum it up, you would say your message to humanity is ask questions, don't make assumptions.
Ask questions, don't make any assumptions. Try new things. Try it. Explore. I mean, it's not going to hurt.
Explore the mind, explore the world.
I mean, it's not going to always be good and bad, but once you say, I tried it, I did it, it didn't work for me, you know what I mean? I want to do something differently, then try it. I mean, that's the only exception. Be open to explore. There's a lot of things out there that, to explore, to try, to
life
an
is
adventure.
Full of,
it's a full of adventures, man.
Places to explore. Yeah, for sure. Lots of hidden gems out there.
Life itself, just like the body itself, anatomy itself, to explore to different types of level. And like I said, as long as you stay true to yourself, it's all the fuck that matters. People get an exception and not staying true to themselves, and that's the problem. That's when you start questioning and doubting and doing things that.
And when you're tuned into yourself, you can kind of feel that.
When you tune to yourself, you be like, I don't give a fuck what motherfucker feel. You understand? I don't give a fuck how motherfucking opinions. Because a lot of people have opinions about this. That's fine. Like I tell them, bring it. Bring it on. You're still not going to change my perspective. I'm still going to have an opinion to say. And I'm still going to be that same person. At the end of the day, ain't nothing going to sit here and sugarcoat that. You understand? So
this was as awesome as I thought it was going to be when I was riding over here and I had good thought about it.
Yes.
That was awesome.
We can do it any day, man.
Oh, yeah.
Peace.
Episode 78. I haven't done one in a minute. 77 was a minute ago. And in the meantime, I've actually thought about this and kind of mapped out in my mind anyway, a more articulated version of what I've already done. So, for instance, one thing I always talk about is how I emphasize and hold value in stories. I think stories should be told, and especially in our society today, people just make assumptions about people based off the little things, And so when I very first started this podcast, this was actually a perfect example of what I had envisioned, because it's somebody I fuck with off the vibe, but I don't really know their story.
Okay.
And so we can dive into the stories that we have, because I feel the most valuable shit that we have in life is our life experiences. So true stories that are based on real life experiences is shit that I'm super interested in.
Okay.
Outside of conspiracy and truther and spiritual stuff, I think that stories is kind of the foundation to all of the realness, and I've said that a lot of times, but in the meantime, like I said, since the last episode, one thing that I was regardless of who I was going to have on for this episode, I was I'm going to explain why I think stories are so important. And instead of, I kind of cheated, ChatGPT is a real easy way to get summaries of stuff now, so I just ChatGPT'd why are stories important for human beings? It says stories are incredibly important to the human experience for several reasons. few of these I'm just going to skim, but then a couple of them I'm going to emphasize because I feel like it gets at the heart at what I'm trying to do with this whole podcast / creative outlet that I've got,
Okay.
So the first couple, cultural transmission. Stories have been the primary method for passing down knowledge, values, history, and culture from one generation to another since before the written word. Myths, legends, folk tales, and historical narratives shape societal norms and individual identities. 2, cognitive development. Engaging with stories aids in cognitive development, particularly in children. It improves memory, comprehension, and critical thinking skills. Stories help in forming mental models of the world, understanding causality, and reasoning about human behavior. And then this is one of the ones I want to emphasize. Emotional intelligence. Stories allow individuals to explore different perspectives and emotions, fostering empathy, compassion, and emotional intelligence. By living vicariously through characters, people learn about human emotions, relationships, and moral dilemmas. Some real shit. Then another one that I wanted to emphasize, social bonding. Sharing stories is a social activity that builds community. It creates common experiences and shared memories, strengthening bonds among individuals. In many cultures, storytelling is a communal event. Then 5, entertainment and escapism. Stories provide an escape from the mundane or stressful aspects of everyday life. They entertain, offering joy, excitement, or comfort during times of need. This escapism can be therapeutic, offering a mental break and relaxation. And then 6, identity formation. This is another one I kind of emphasized. Personal narratives help individuals understand who they are within the larger tapestry of humanity. Life stories give meaning to personal experiences, helping people to see their lives as part of a larger narrative arc. And then 7, another one that I wanted to emphasize, moral and ethical exploration. Stories often explore ethical questions and moral issues, providing a safe space to consider the consequences of actions without real-world repercussions. They can subtly teach morals and ethics through narrative. And then another one is inspiration and motivation. Inspirational stories of heroism, success, or overcoming adversity can motivate individuals to pursue their goals or change their life path. They serve as an example of what is possible. And then 9 is memory aids. Stories are easier to remember than facts alone due to the narrative structure. This makes complex or otherwise forgettable information more memorable when presented in story form. And the last one, another one I would emphasize, is psychological health or mental health. Engaging with stories, whether through reading, watching films, or listening, can have therapeutic effects. They can help in coping with personal issues, understanding one's emotions, and even dealing with trauma through art therapy or narrative therapy. Given these points, it's clear that stories are not just entertainment, they are a fundamental aspect of human psychology, culture, and social interaction. They are tools for education, personal growth, cultural preservation, and societal cohesion. The importance of stories in the human experience is profound, affecting us from the cradle to grave, shaping how we think, feel, and interact with the world.
I got that. Yeah, heard them call me conscious. I ain't think about it honestly. My thoughts too deep to process, so I do this all unconsciously. Finally feeling God bless. Got 'em woke up dropping prophecy. Don't take it out of context. Just before, I swear they always sleep. Now they catch the message, yeah. Bet that every song is deep. It's levels in each concept. But I can't just never mono theme. I'm trying to lead this flock for the cause, not the following. People upon a partner, and I wonder why they drawn to me. Once upon a time, I thought to follow up a dream. Draw life about these lines, nothing twice about these schemes, and like thrice about these insights. What I write is like a blueprint for you to comprehend life. That's light. I reckon make you shine. Never dim it down, even if you live surrounded where everybody vision clouded. Remember staying down ain't quite as good as getting out. And remember staying down ain't quite as, ay. If you believe, yeah, Many doubted it was hard for them to think. Somehow I'm finally getting louder, that's it. Usually, they vision clouded, but as you can see by now, we finally getting out here writing truth, spreading love. Tell me how you feel about it. Got this music from above, this how I know I'm getting out here writing truth, spreading love. Tell me how you feel about it. Got this music from above, this how I